When pools, leisure centres and gyms shut up shop in March, many of us took it as a cue to instead dive into a massive box of biscuits. We're on the way out now and we're going to have to leave the house, possibly even go to the leisure centre rather than the pleasure centre that is our fridge. So how is working out going to work? Here to hopefully answer some questions is Keep Fit guru Huw Edwards. How are you, Huw?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very well, very well. So the leisure centre, it locked down before lockdown. Have we got dates? Have we started to get a picture of when they're going to open up again and we can start getting fit again?
Well, we're inching closer. We're hoping the Prime Minister will make some positive announcements tomorrow. We're all looking at the 4th of July date. But as you said, we've been closed since the 20th of March, and so 7,000 facilities, a core workforce of 200,000 is ready to go as and when we get the green light. OK, this is crucial for Nia from Denbighshire. She absolutely relies on her local leisure centre for exercise and the community as well. It's a big part of it, isn't it? Seeing your regular faces and the people that you know. Let's hear from her here.
How will the leisure industry ensure that we can use gyms safely in the future following the lifting of restrictions?
It's a difficult one to get your head round because when you picture a gym or a leisure centre, people come into very close contact. So tell me about the sort of things that your members are talking about and how it's going to work.
100%. It's a very important question from Nia. She's like one of millions of people across the country who depend on their leisure centres and gyms. They're in the fabric of our local communities. And so we are doing a lot of work with our operator partners at ukactive to set up the right framework for reopening in the safe, hygienic way. And so that will include pathways and directions in and out of the facilities, a workforce which has been briefed on how to look after the customers as they come in, equipment which have been taken out of usage. There'll be a flow of people coming in and out in a very orchestrated way. Exercise classes will be restricted in size and time, and you'll have very much a visibility around hygiene and sanitisation with sanitisation stations across all our facilities.
There was a real worry that the over 70s were going to be affected disproportionately here because obviously they're at greater risk from this thing. They could even have been excluded. Is that going to happen? Have we got any news on that?
Well, we're waiting. The government's obviously looking at the different guidelines for over 70s at the end of this month. But a hugely important question, an important point, is around exercise for over 70s is hugely important to maintain health and well-being and social connectivity as well. And we know that people over 70 are very keen to get back into the swimming pool as well. OK,
we've got an email in from Gavin, and it's about swimming pools. This is one of those things I've heard floating around, if you'll pardon the expression. Chlorine kills COVID. They should be safe to open as soon as possible. Changing rooms have cubicles, largely, some of them. What is the issue? He's clearly desperate to get back swimming. So first, take us through that. Does chlorine kill COVID?
Well, there is evidence that chlorinated water can combat COVID-19, and Gavin, like millions, is very keen to get back in the swimming pool. So what you'll see is crucially social distancing and widening of lanes and restriction of classes and access into swimming pools. And what we're actually seeing is some operators actually encouraging people to come beach ready, to have their swimming costumes underneath their clothes. You know, the changing rooms will be open, but we want to limit the amount of people in there. So if they come ready, beach ready, they'll be able to use that with greater reassurance.
That's great up until about September, October, isn't it? You know, you can, if you're going to leave in your cosy as well, that's not quite so comfortable, but things are changing all the time.
And the social distancing will change all the time as well, as we expect.
OK, so the chlorine thing, that's not a myth. We're kind of...
Correct.
We're sorted there. Are you hearing other myths that need clearing up about the way that we are in gyms and how that could affect us with COVID?
Yeah, there's a number of areas. You look at there's not going to be any mandatory requirement for gloves or masks. We know that there is no scientific evidence around COVID being spread through sweat. We know that that it can be held on and live on surfaces, and that's why hygiene and sanitation is going to be really important in our facilities. But that's exactly the same for pubs as it is for restaurants and bars as well. And also, you know, there is obviously a slightly greater threat indoors as opposed to outdoors, but that's where the hygiene, that's where the sanitisation, that's where the ventilation comes in, as it will be for bars, restaurants and pubs.
A lot of people have had gym memberships over this time. As an industry, and we've seen the travel industry, and a lot of them have done well, a lot of them have done really quite poorly. As an industry, how have you handled memberships and refunds and things like that?
Absolutely. All our operators are working very closely with their their customers, but we know that the members want to come back in the high 80s percentages-wise from our polling. And people need to get healthy. You talk about the need to get the nation healthy again, and our sector will be the national service at the front line for that, to support getting the nation healthy.
Is my gym going to be there when I need to go back? I know the industry is struggling like everyone
We will
else.
be there, ready to go as and when we get the green light from government.
OK, Huw, thank you so much. I mean, it may not look like it, but I'm desperate to get back down the gym again. I can't wait. And
We'll see you there.
Thank you so much.